Hello, I'm Tom and welcome to the Welsh Woodman workshop. In tonight's video we're going to be making a slab style coffee table. So here's the slab we're going to be using for tonight's project. It's a lovely piece of maple. Now I milled this up for a friend's wedding and they used this as their cake stand. They've just bought a house together and I thought it'd be a nice opportunity to turn this into a coffee table. So hope you enjoy. So to start with, I came up with a design concept and modelled that concept using CAD package Google SketchUp. So I want my design to revolve around this central hub with some sliding dovetails. So the dovetails are in the legs, they slide into the central hub. And I've gone with a tripod design as this is going to make it stable and hopefully the curves of the leg will make it elegant. So I'm just going to square off a board and I'm going to cut 3 legs to the same lengths and I'm going to use a template to draw around and cut them out on the bandsaw. So I'm going to cut my dovetail joints, sliding dovetail joints on the table saw, and I'm going to angle the table saw blade to get the angle of the dovetail. And I'm going to use some push sticks to keep my hands well away from the blade. I'm going to need to do a little bit of refinement on these with the chisel to help them slide in smoothly later on. So I'm just going to square up the shoulders and I'm going to take off any sort of sharp corners with the router, and that way then if they ever get knocked in the future they're not going to split off with the grain. A little bit of sand in to refine and smooth that curve, and we're going to finish these with a Japanese technique called Shoshobban, which will really highlight the grain pattern of the wood. I'm going to work on some bow tie joints to stop this crack in the live edge piece from splitting further, and I'm going to cut these out of mahogany using this traditional Japanese saw. Now to create the bow tie joints there's several ways, but my preferred method is to use a Japanese saw to cut down to the bottom of the bow ties and then use a chisel then to chisel away material down to that bottom saw line. So it's far more fun to create them this way I've found, but you could also cut them out by hand or on a bandsaw and that will do the same thing. So I'm going to go around with a pencil now to indicate where I want it to go, and I'm going to go around my pencil lines with a marking knife to create a registering point for my chisel to go in. Now chiseling on end grain is always tough going and it took me quite a while to get these grooves chiseled out, so maybe in the future I'd have to invest in a palm router. So any good brands, please recommend them in the comments below. So I'm going to use these dovetail joints now to stop the crack expanding. Hopefully you can see the shape of these, how that works. We're going to work on the central hub, so I'm just using corner to corner to find the center, compass to draw a circle, and we're going to cut that circle out on the bandsaw. Ready for wood turning. Now if you are enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already, hit the like icon and share the video with friends. I really appreciate that and it means a lot. So we can use this little jig to mark out 3 equal lines where the legs are going to go, and I'm just screwing ready for my little screw check for the wood turning lathe. So I'm going to screw it nice and tight so it's got a good face to meet to, and that's going to get threaded on to the headstock of my wood turning lathe. Now wood turning is by far my favourite aspect of woodworking, using the bowl gouge now to true up the edges, and I'm going to want to take off any sharp corners again just in case they're knocked in the future and face off this edge so I've got a flat registering point for my dovetails to be marked out on. So again, going to go around the dovetail shapes with a pencil, nice sharp pencil, to give me an indication where this profile is, and they're all being centered up on the lines that I marked previously. So I'm going to be using the bandsaw to cut the bulk of the material out, and lots of chisel work then to get the taper into the piece. So I'm going to finish the hub again with this Japanese Shoshobban technique. I love how all the grain pattern, the summer and the winter growth is brought out with this. So I was really eager to get these sliding dovetails in, and I did forget to put glue in at this point, so I'm going to have to secure them more securely with screws, which will help expand the joint, and these are going to be covered later on with dowels so you won't see the screws at the end of the project. So after these have been screwed into place, I did a final sort of finish with the Shoshobban, and this is ready to start connecting to the slab top. So I'm using my little jig template again to measure out 3 equal points. So I'm going to be connecting them using the screws. As you can see, it'll go through the top and screw into the slab table. So I'm going to share a quick tip with you. I've got my drill bit cabinet there, and I've got the screw ones, and I've pre-drilled some holes to the different size of drill bits I need, and I can just hold this up and quickly gauge and find the right size drill bit then. So I'm going to hide these screws after they've been drilled and screwed into the block using some dowel. So I'm going to drill a larger hole. So tonight's video was really fun to make. Hope you've enjoyed watching as much as I've enjoyed making it. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and you can see more woodworking videos like this then. I want to say a massive thank you to my existing subscribers. Really appreciate your support and always love reading your comments. Again, due to my little newborn boy and my new job, I'm not posting as regularly as I used to. So if you hit the notification bell, that should give you a notification when my new video comes out. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great evening. Diolch yn fawr. Nos da.